My mother banned birthday cake because it reminded her of death. For 18 years I blew out invisible candles in silence, while she clutched my dead sister's photo like a lifeline. My name is Ellie, and I grew up in a house where joy was contraband. My older sister Lila died when I was 2, hit by a drunk driver while crossing the street with Mom. I don't remember her, but her ghost ruled our home. Her pictures lined every wall, smiling in pigtails, frozen at 7 years old. Mom never let me forget I was the surviving child. As if my existence was an accident she begrudged. My birthdays, which should have been mine, were days of mourning for Lila. No parties, no gifts, no singing. Just Mom locking herself in her room, weeping over a daughter who'd never grow up. I learned early to tiptoe around her grief. By 5 I stopped asking for cake. By 10 I stopped mentioning my birthday altogether. I'd spend the day at school, watching other kids flaunt their "I'm 11" badges, while I pretended it was just another Tuesday. Friends' parents would ask, "What did you get for your birthday, Ellie?" I'd shrug and say, "Oh, we don't do that." They'd look puzzled, but I never explained. How could I? How do you tell people your mother thinks celebrating you is a betrayal of your dead sister? Dad tried to soften the blow. He'd sneak me a cupcake after school or slip a 20 into my backpack with a whispered, "Happy birthday, kiddo." But even he couldn't fill the void. He loved Mom too much to challenge her, and her pain was a fortress neither of us could breach. So I grew up fast, swallowing my resentment, telling myself it wasn't Mom's fault. She was broken and I was the collateral damage. High school was my escape. I threw myself into debate club, track, anything to stay out of that suffocating house. I made friends, good ones like Sarah, who'd throw me secret birthday parties at her place. She'd bake lopsided cakes and make everyone sing off key, and for a few hours I'd feel normal. But I'd always come home to Mom's red-rimmed eyes and the same lecture. "You're lucky to be alive, Ellie. Don't waste it on frivolity." Frivolity. That's what she called my need to feel seen. When I turned 18 I thought things might change. I was an adult, ready to leave for college, to carve out a life where my birthday wasn't a crime. I was wrong. That morning I found Mom in the kitchen, staring at Lila's photo. I took a deep breath and said, "Mom, it's my 18th. Can we do something? Just you and me." Her face hardened. "You think today's about you?" Lila would have been 23. She walked out, leaving me with the sting of her words. That was the day I stopped hoping. College was freedom. I moved 3 states away, to a small liberal arts school where nobody knew my story. I celebrated my 19th birthday with a dorm party pizza, cheap wine, and a playlist that shook the walls. For the first time I felt like I mattered. I called Dad that night, buzzing with joy, but when I mentioned the party he sighed. "Don't tell your mom, Ellie. It'll upset her." Even 500 miles away, her grief cast a shadow. I didn't go home for holidays that first year. I told myself it was because of midterms, but really I was done being invisible. Dad visited once and we had a good weekend hiking, laughing, avoiding the topic of Mom. But when I asked why he never pushed her to move on, he looked away. "She lost too much, Ellie. You can't understand." I wanted to scream that I'd lost to a mother, a childhood, a chance to feel loved. But I didn't. I just hugged him and let it go. Fast forward to last month. I'm 20 in my junior year and I get a call from Mom. Her voice is sharp, urgent. "Ellie, you need to come home. It's important." My stomach dropped. Was Dad sick? Was she? I took the first bus back, a 6-hour ride filled with dread. When I walked into the house it was like stepping into a time capsule. Lila's photos, Mom's pinched face, the same heavy silence. Dad was fine, just quieter than usual. Mom sat me down and slid a flyer across the table. It was for a memorial event, a community fundraiser to honor Lila on the 20th anniversary of her death. "I want you to speak at it," Mom said, her eyes unyielding. "You'll talk about Lila, how her memory inspires you. People need to know she's not forgotten." I stared at her, my throat tight. "Mom, I don't remember Lila. I was 2. Her jaw clenched. "You're her sister. You owe her this." "Owe her?" The words hit like a slap. For 18 years, I'd been erased to preserve Lila's memory, and now Mom was demanding I perform grief for a sister I never knew? I tried to stay calm. "Mom, I've never even had a birthday because of Lila. Why is this my responsibility?" Her face crumpled, but not with guilt, with anger. You ungrateful child. I gave you life, and you can't even honor your sister. Dad put a hand on her arm, but she shook him off. You'll do this, Ellie, or you're no daughter of mine. The ultimatum hung in the air, heavy as the grief she'd nurtured for 2 decades. I left that night, crashing at Sarah's place nearby. She listened as I vented, tears streaming down my face. She's never seen me, Sarah. Not once. Sarah hugged me and said, You don't have to do this. You don't owe anyone your pain. But the idea of cutting Mom off entirely felt like severing a limb. She was my mother, broken or not. I wanted to hate her, but I couldn't. I just wanted her to see me. The memorial was a week away, and I had a choice to make. I could refuse, walk away, and let Mom's ultimatum define our future. Or I could show up, speak, and try to bridge the gap between us. I spent days agonizing, replaying every birthday I'd spent alone. Every time Mom's grief trumped my existence. But I also thought about Lila, not the sainted ghost, but the real girl who'd loved drawing and hated broccoli, according to Dad. She deserved to be remembered, but not at the cost of my life. I decided to go, but on my terms. I spent hours writing a speech not just about Lila, but about us two sisters, one gone, one here, both caught in a tragedy that shaped our family. The night of the memorial, the community center was packed. Neighbors, old teachers, even the mayor showed up. Mom sat in the front row, clutching Lila's photo, her face unreadable. Dad gave me a small nod, his eyes full of quiet pride. When it was my turn, I stepped to the podium, my hands shaking. Lila was my sister. I began, my voice steadying. I don't remember her laugh or her favorite song, but I know she was loved. Her loss broke our family, and for years I thought it broke me too. I glanced at Mom, who stiffened. I grew up believing my life was less important than her death. My birthdays were silenced, my milestones ignored, because celebrating me felt like betraying her. But I'm here to say that honoring Lila doesn't mean erasing me. The room was silent. I saw tears in Dad's eyes, and Mom's hands trembled around the photo. Lila's memory isn't a weight we have to carry alone, I continued. It's a light we can share by living fully, by loving fiercely, by forgiving each other. I'm here not just for Lila, but for the family we still have. For the mother who's hurting, for the father who's trying, for the sister I'll always carry in my heart. When I finished, the applause was soft at first, then thunderous. Mom didn't clap. She stared at the floor, her face a mask of conflicting emotions. After the event, people came up to me, sharing stories about Lila, thanking me for my words. Mom stayed back, and I braced myself for her anger. But when the crowd thinned, she approached, her eyes wet. I didn't know, she whispered. I didn't know how much I hurt you. It wasn't an apology, not exactly, but it was a crack in her fortress. We didn't hug or cry it out like in the movies. We just stood there, two broken people trying to find a way forward. Dad joined us, his hand on my shoulder, and for the first time in years, I felt like we were a family, not whole but trying. The next day I went back to college, carrying both the weight of that night and a flicker of hope. Mom called a week later, asking if I'd come home for my 21st birthday. Just us, she said. No mourning. Just you. I said yes, but I'm still not sure if I trust it. This isn't a tidy story. Grief doesn't vanish, and forgiveness isn't a straight line. But I learned that my voice matters, even when it shakes. I learned that love can be flawed and still worth fighting for. And I learned that living my truth doesn't mean dishonoring Lila's memory, it means carrying her forward in a way that lets me breathe. What do you think? Was I right to speak my truth, or should I have stayed silent to protect Mom's grief? Can a family heal when loss defines it? Share your thoughts. There's no right answer, only the messy truth of being human.